So as a lot of people know, new aerial photos of the Top Thrill Dragster area have been released on Reddit, I think yesterday or the day before. Today's Wednesday, December 21st. So I think yesterday, Tuesday, December 20th, they were released. No credit has been given to whose photos these are. And I would assume that's because these were probably taken with a drone illegally. So if they wanted to take credit, then they would probably get in trouble for taking these photos. But what we have here are multiple pictures of the Top Thrill Dragster area. And so right here, we're looking at a photo around the station, and you see just a lot of torn up area, basically.
Yeah.
Now, this doesn't really tell you much other than I think we're kind of getting at the fact that what we kind of already figured, that they're probably moving the queue somewhere.
I mean, probably. That's really the only explanation, because all of the little metal fences for where the queue is are all gone. So there's no reason to remove those unless they are moving the queue somewhere else.
Yeah, if you look just right here where the little magnifying glass is going, you'll see that all the metal railings for the switchbacks. So they're going to be changing a decent amount, but we knew already that just changing the launch, which is 99% what they're going to be doing, we knew that this was going to still be an in-depth, big project, right?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
Yeah, this wasn't going to be just throwing some LSMs on some old track and then be done with it. I mean, it's a lot more complex than that. They have to change a lot of things. So I think what we're looking at here is them setting up for the new queue line area, which might come back through this way where the old
Blood on the Bayou.
Blood on the Bayou used to come here, and it was moved to Forbidden Frontier a couple years ago. So you come back here, and I don't know, we've heard rumors for a while that this building is supposed to be torn down. That's the building where they had the photos, where you got your photos for Top Thrill Dragster. Not sure if that's true or not, but either way, you can come back here and they can create some sort of queue back here. This is a lot of space for the queue, the old one, but it's just long and skinny. So something like this would be more like a wider area.
And all this work that they're doing, we already kind of knew that this was going to be ready next year, but I think this even more shows that it should be ready next year, because obviously they're doing a lot to it, and they're already, they already have stuff dug up. It's going to be ready by next year.
Yeah, Top Thrill Dragster, all this entire area was almost nothing at the end of 2002. And then by opening day 2003, all this existed. And the top hat that you can't see over in this area. There are some other pictures. This picture gets a little bit different of a view. It shows what tracks still remain. So the top hat is over here to the left still. That is obviously left untouched. But almost none of this existed. And then, boom, opening day 2003, It was there.
Well, they built this entire ride in one winter, so it would make absolute zero sense if they couldn't just add new launches in a winter. It just wouldn't make sense. They built the whole entire ride in a winter. So this ride will 100% be ready, and we get to ride it next year.
Well, I don't want to say 100% because things happen.
Absolutely nothing is 100%, but I'm just saying. Nothing is, anything could happen, and it's not, obviously I'm not talking about 100%, but it is very likely.
I think their plan, as far as what their plan is, I think it's 95% sure that this is planned to be open for 2023. Because why else would Tony Clark keep emphasizing the 18th coaster? Because all this that you're looking at right here with missing track and a ride that you cannot ride and a torn up station. Oh, That's a different picture. And a torn up station area. That's not a ride. That's not an 18th roller coaster right there.
And Cedar Point wants Top Thrill Dragster to be open next year because it's one of their biggest rides. So they definitely want to get it open next year, and they're going to try as hard as they can to get it, and we are very confident that they will.
Because they weren't just all of a sudden, whenever you heard the press release on September 6th, that like it wasn't like 2 weeks before that they said, oh, hey, all of a sudden now we know what we're going to do at Top Thrill Dragster. They've known for months. There's been lots of talk throughout the year that people saw trucks, like construction vehicles, when they were on Iron Dragon, which is this ride right here. They would see trucks and clearing of shrubbery and that. So they already began construction for quite a while. And soon after they decided that the ride would close down at the end of 2021, they already started working on their plan. And they already started taking in bids from new companies and figuring out what they could do to change the ride to make it less of a maintenance nightmare. So what we see here is not the end result, obviously, but the middle ground of what they've been doing for well over a year now. So they've been planning this out for quite some time. So all this digging, if you notice, these are the only places that the supports are gone, right? Because the supports are all like still, none of them have been removed along here.
Yeah.
So right here, obviously some of the supports are gone, but along the brake run, the supports are there all the way up until basically you hit the station. And if you look, the only track that's gone is track had some brakes or launch system on it. So the track that needs to be changed out to an LSM system, because whenever you have a hydraulic launch system, you have a different kind of brakes and you have a different kind of launch. And so now LSMs, now you'll switch everything around. And in the station, obviously they're going to change things around because they might change like the length of the trains. Mm-hmm. They definitely have to change. In here is the control area. The control booth is going to completely change. As far as like inside, we might not notice any looks from the outside.
One thing I am very excited and interested to see is what the track will look like with like the launch track and the brake track. Like, will it be different? Because the track that's with on the top hat, that's like older track. So I just want to know, I doubt it's going to look the exact same just with different launches, because I don't know if those launches can go on that track. So I do want to know, can you see just a track and then it just changes to all the track that's on the top hat?
Well, what I think it's safe to assume that since they took this track off and shipped it off all nice and neat, that they are just going to reuse the old track and put on the new LSM launches and retrofit them to be able to use. It was probably a lot cheaper, because if they created all new track for like this whole area along the brakes and along the launch, then they would maybe have to change the track leading up to the top hat and up over the top hat. So we've been concentrating on this picture. I'll get rid of, we don't need that picture. I mean, that was the best picture as far as that showed the most. None of the other pictures show quite as much. This one shows a little bit just from a different angle. So this was the old entrance to the queue right here. You had fast lane that went this way, and then the regular line that went that way. The only thing that I think is being changed because of the accident is going to be the queue, the placement of the queue. None of the, I mean, we've said it in multiple videos, none of the work that's being done to the track and to the launch system has anything to do with the accident. This is all 100% maintenance. So you see here top hat and like the actual structure is still untouched, and that will remain untouched.
That will remain untouched. Yeah, they're not doing anything with that. I mean, it's just going to, yeah, I mean, be the same old ride, just a different launch system and different brakes and some different track, obviously, since it's all gone, and then some new trains, which I am also very excited to see what trains it's gonna be, like what kind of new generation trains. I mean,
The Zamperla Lightning trains?
it's one of the rumors that could be. I mean, we still don't know who's working on this launch, but if it is Zamperla, then it definitely would be those trains.
I mean, I think I've convinced myself by now that Zamperla is the company that's working on this. I just think all fingers are pointing to them. But nothing in here, another thing, nothing in here, what I see in these pictures points to any sort of extended layout.
Well, yeah.
That has been rumored.
And I mean, we don't even need the pictures. So, I mean, we've said all along that they're not getting an extended layout because the reason they are changing anything with the ride is just because of maintenance. They want to make it more reliable. It is not to make it a better ride so people want to ride it more, because it already gets one of the longest lines in the park. So they're not going to get an extended layout because that would just be more maintenance and more work, and there's just no reason to do that. So all it is just going to be a launch with an LSM, obviously, pretty much that's kind of known now. And then top hat, brakes, just like that. No extended layout.
And then the Q line, which will be different. So that will probably be what you're looking at here. And yeah, there's nothing that I see that, like you said earlier, there's nothing that I see that will make this not be available for 2023. So these are the hot pictures going around the internet right now. So we figured we would chime in, give our 2 cents on what we think about this. I hope that you found this video informative and informational. If you haven't seen these pictures, or if you haven't seen them like up close and zoomed in, hopefully this was your chance. So if you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you guys next time on Beach Cliff Studios.